It is July 17th, 2019. We're here at 7030 Arillo Street in San Diego, California, 92111. We're going to inspect the main sewer line. We're here on the rooftop. We have two bathrooms. They're directly across from each other, so we're going to see if this first full bath in the hallway here leads across to the other bathroom, and then they tie in and run out together. Somebody just flushed the toilet, we heard, so we're probably going to have a little bit of residual water here, maybe dripping into the line. We'll see. A little bit of debris there in the pipe there, so let's go ahead and we're going to pause the video real quick to wipe off our lens. Okay, so we've wiped off our lens. They had used the restroom facility there, so hopefully this will be clear now. There's our dump into our line. Our T-Junction's picking up the bathtub. Okay, you can see this is all original cast iron pipe. It's under slab, so no reason to get down there and replace it or need to at this point. Pipe is still all intact. Not many deposits or scale or buildup in the line, so it looks good. A little bit of standing water right there. Sometimes when there's a turn on the pipe, like you see coming ahead, or a fitting, there'll be a little bit of buildup on the bottom there, and that'll cause a little bit of water to be held there, but it's nothing severe. Okay, we made a change in direction here with these turns, so we probably went across, picked up the other bathroom that's right by the front doorway as soon as you come in, and now we're probably headed across and out towards the street actually. So you can still, same thing, all original cast iron, but looks really good on the inside. A little bit of deposits on the bottom of the pipe there, but again, nothing severe. Overall, looks really good so far. Debris hanging off the top of the pipe, but it's not roots or anything, so that's good. We're just... So again, you can see some heavier scale and buildup on the bottom of the pipes right here. Little mounds. Looks like some foreign debris that somebody flushed down there. That little stick on the left from something. Little debris stalagmite hanging down from some paper debris that got flushed down. So here you can see again, you got a little bit more scale buildup of deposits on the right and left side of the bottom of the pipe. It's still nothing severe that I would call for needing a hydrojetting. That can be cleaned up with either jetting, or sometimes we can use what's called a flex shaft chain knocker system to kind of scrape those pieces off sometimes with running water, but nothing too severe right now that we would recommend or the need to do that. Okay, here we have another turn on the system. Okay, here we're out to the property line cleanout. So you can see we're 72 feet out, and that includes about the 15 to 16 foot vertical vent that we came down. So we're out about 56 feet approximately along the horizontal line, and then we come to this property line cleanout. Now, we do see in the front yard they have a concrete box, a cleanout box, and the cast iron original clean out top is there. It doesn't look like it's ever been opened up. And so that's probably right where we're at, is that clean out point in the house. Now this is a sanitary Tee, which means this horizontal line comes up and makes a hard full 90-degree turn at this T-junction. So it may be unlikely that we're going to be able to actually get through this and even push past it if we can even make the turn. When we're out this distance and already made a lot of turns, these push rods for the cameras can only do so much as far as their bendability. So we'll go ahead and verify with a locator that we're at that clean out piece. We'll see if it is accessible, if it's banded in or been cut at some point in time for access. So you can see we hit the wall and tries to make that turn, but it's a full hard 90-degree turn. It's not what we call a long sweep. So the cameras aren't going to make that kind of turn right there. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and see if there's an access from this lid where this point of the camera is at here. Okay, so we've gone ahead and located this property line clean out, which is typically on the other side of the sidewalk, but this particular one is actually under the city sidewalk. This pipe right here is 26 inches deep. It's 2 feet 2 inches deep. We've got it marked on the concrete, not that you'd ever open it up to get to this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to slowly back up and try to see if we can see the other T-junction that is on the grass part of the front yard with the box. That clean out again, which is original cast iron, has never been opened up that we can see. So that could mean that they've never had stoppages, or it could just mean that nobody ever wanted to try to take the time because it's in a difficult area to try to cut it off to gain access to that. So we're going to go ahead and back up a little bit here and just double check the path of the pipes. You can see all that paper and debris, the white stuff on the top and side walls of the pipe. So we just want to make sure that the line doesn't have something beyond that point wrong with it, because typically you only see something this far out stuck on the top and side walls if the drain is clogged and backed up and then filled up and allowed those things to float up to the top. When they're this far away, they're typically not going to have a chance to tumble and get up to that part of the pipe. So again, we're going to slowly back up here just a little bit to do another marking, and then we'll try to see if we can see a T-junction in the shadow that we missed previously as we went forward, where that other clean out may be. Could also be where there was a turn on the line. It may have not have just been a 45 or a 90. That may have been a Y junction or a combo junction being used for that T. So that's right here. So let's see if we see anything else when we come up backwards here a little bit, because now we're starting to get really into the house. Okay, there's a T junction right there. There we go. On the upper left of the screen, you can see that is an opening there into the line. Now where we're at, that's getting close, but I think that could possibly be part of that one T-junction. So what we'll do is we'll pull back here just a little bit more, see if there's another one, because it kind of looks like that one may be angling in. Could be what's called a two-way, but it looks like it's a sweep back towards the house. So we're going to position our camera right here underneath it. We're going to pause the video and locate this. Okay, so we did go ahead and verify this is that clean out with the concrete lid on the front lawn. The pipe here is right about 2 feet 3 inches deep. Says it's a little deeper than the one by the sidewalk, but we have a grade change, of course. The grass and the dirt, everything's up a little bit higher. So that is this clean out point right there. So that you see that T-junction right there. Now, I can tell from the angle of the pipe that it's either dropping straight in or it's actually kind of angling back in to clean out towards the house. So if you were to cut this lid off here, this may not allow the camera to go past here in the direction we're actually traveling right there, as you see. It actually might sweep to clean out everything back inside the house, because we can see the ledge or the lip that's on that pipe actually appears to be angling back into the house. So if it was, then that would be a spot though that you could use in the future to again clean up some of these deposits you see on the bottom right and left sides, that little buildup of scale and deposits there, to clean those off. But as far as getting out further, this Cleanout access T-Junction right there, if it's ever opened up, may not get you out to the street from there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and pause the video. We have one other special camera that we're going to try to see if it can maneuver down that Cleanout T-Junction and get a little bit further out, just to give us some kind of view, just to ensure we don't at least see anything partially wrong with that vertical pipe, and especially the transition, because this 3-inch cast iron pipe is going to probably turn into 4-inch clay pipe unless the city is redone or relined the pipe across. And we really want to verify that that cast iron transition, if it is to clay, is clean, and if we can get through any of the clay, that there's no root intrusions or anything else wrong with the pipe. So we're going to pause the video and pull back and put a different camera down the line. Okay, so we have a special camera in there. The image has gone a little bit awry with this camera. It's two cameras that are put together, so the colorization right now is a little off. We've got a little technical issue, but we're going to go ahead and try to see if this again can make this turn at the property line cleanout that we're about to come up to again. So we've already pushed through the entire house. So we'll be coming up here shortly in a few feet. And here's the property line cleanout that we were at before we could not get through. So this camera here, see if it can maneuver. So it looks like we might have just made the vertical downturn, and then at the bottom, of course, it's going to have another 90. So we're going to go ahead and right here at the vertical pipe, we're going to go ahead and pause the video. We're actually going to run some water down the system and see if we can go ahead and get a little bit clearer image, as well as help this maneuver the camera through. Okay, you can see a bunch of water cascading by. We're going to see if this can, again, try to help us possibly with this specialty camera maneuver through these couple 90s. Not a guarantee, because they're very tight together. But we want to give every effort we can here to try to get this assessed, since we don't have any good cleanouts. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to maneuver through there very well, unfortunately. We're going to go ahead and pause the video while we continue to try to push it through with all this water running by. Okay, so we've shut the water off. You can see we've got a little bit of debris there on the bottom of the pipe. So it looks like we're back through the second 90 under the clean out, trying to run across that horizontal, but it just won't make all those turns. When you have two 90s really close together, like an S shape, at the distance we're already out and made a bunch of turns, it's just really difficult for the cameras to be able to maneuver. They're all pushed by hand. So we're going to slowly let this water kind of drain out here and see if we see any type of image on the screen as the water kind of subsides away. I don't think we're going to see much because we have all this debris in front of us, so this actually might hold all this water here constantly, but we'll give it a minute here and see. We do have another camera monitor also that if we need to, we may try plugging this in to see if we get a little bit more real color image from this one, but we want to continue recording on what we're at right here in case we have an issue with the DVR that we're recording on. So we're just waiting for this water to slowly drain out here, and we'll try to see if it gives us any other additional information. It's unlikely. So again, because we don't have any other cleanouts that are accessible, the cast iron pipe and clean out on the front lawn would have to be opened up. the lid on the current one that would have to be cut off, and then use some type of temporary rubber plug to fill it back in. We're not sure 100% that clean out access continues away from the house. It might actually go back in. So if that's the case, then the only way to inspect the rest of the line and or even clean it out, because it is the homeowner's responsibility to maintain it all the way out to the street, would be to dig that up where that other clean out is and install 2 clean outs. One goes back into the house and then one back out. So you can see the water's gone down. We see we're still in that cast iron pipe, but this second change of where we're at here should be a transition where then it's going to be moving into clay pipe, possibly a concrete style pipe, and or unless the city's replaced all of it somehow, then it even may be a relined pipe or a plastic pipe. But we're not seeing the evidence of that, that they did any type of work, as typically they would put in a new property line clean out, where they would have to dig up even if they shot a reliner in there. So it doesn't look like that's the case, but again, we're only able to get this far. So the water's drained out, we have the water stopped, and as you can see, we're just not getting any other kind of view. So we're going to slowly pull the camera up a little bit here. We'll see it start to move here. See if we... Now we're just not going to see anything farther down that line. So you can see here, we're coming up vertical, literally, a straight up and down vertical pipe. And then as we make the turn right here, so just literally like a foot away or so, it goes back to that horizontal. So you can see right there, that is that clean out that we'd stopped with the other camera at. And again, we apologize, the imaging on this special one we put together is, looks like it's kind of getting a little defective. But anyway, this is the piece that is under the sidewalk, so it's not like you can go ahead and access this to take off this clean outlet, because this T-Junction here will have a clean outlet. You're going to have to go ahead and access it from the front yard, either the current one or add one possibly, if that won't let you sweep in both directions. So push this forward one more little time. See how difficult even with this one it is, and then all it can do is go down this vertical. We made the vertical, but then it just runs down barely a foot or so. If the vertical was a little bit longer, we might be able to actually get this out a little bit further, but because it's so short, all we can do is get to the bottom of the 90, and then same thing, this coiled up push rod just is stuck and will not go any further beyond this point. So we cannot verify if there's any other issues from this cast iron to where it eventually is going to transition relatively soon, typically under the street, which is only a few feet away, if there's any roots in the line or anything else. Now, if the line was ever broken or collapsed, the homeowner could have a plumber, a licensed plumber, file a report with the city, and they would repair a broken or collapsed line for the homeowner. If there's only roots in the line, then a plumber does have to maintain and fix that for the homeowner. Or if, with a clean out access, which we don't have right now, if a plumber can't clear the roots, then the city would come out if a clean out was to ever be installed. So that's how that works in the city of San Diego, as far as maintaining the line and or repairing it if there was any issues past the sidewalk. So again, we can't get any further out, unfortunately. We're kind of stuck right here. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video, and we're going to go ahead and push our other camera and just to do some other markings on the sidewalk, just to show the path of the pipe across the front yard in case they ever do want to dig that up. And then we'll move our cameras down to there and kind of show that across in case the markings disappear here shortly, so everybody's aware of what they would need to do if they wanted to add some clean outs for the property. Okay, so we put our original camera back down the line really quick because we wanted to go ahead and double check the depth and placement of the pipe in the front yard before we go ahead and move our cameras down to the curbside. We did go ahead and just find here, as our lens cleaned up, another T-junction right in front of that other one. So there are 2 T-junctions. So again, in the front lawn, we'll be moving our camera down there shortly. There's one concrete box with a broken lid and one cast iron clean out top that's not been opened or accessed. So what you're looking at right here on the upper left of the screen, that's an access point into the sewer pipe there, and that sweeps away from the house towards the street, the direction we were obviously trying to get all the way out on. So that's that T-junction there, and as we back up literally just a few inches here, this is the original one that we saw as we backed up because it shows up more clearly on the screen with the lighting, and that's the one that sweeps back into the house. So there are two of them side by side with each other, and a lot of times this is actually a single cast iron fitting, and when you take the lid off, you'll look down the vertical cast iron pipe and you'll actually have to steer your cable or camera, whatever you're trying to put down the line, to go in the right direction. So it's essentially like a two-way clean out. There's only one vertical pipe and then it branches off going in both directions. So when the line is clogged or backed up, it's actually kind of hard initially to see which way you're going unless you kind of steer your camera or cable, of course, closer to the one side wall that should lead you in the direction you're trying to go. But anyway, we did see that clean out there originally, and as we go forward, we do see this opening right here. So that's good news. So the other clean out in the front lawn would need to be accessed to try to then, from that point, be able to get all the way out to the street. So we're going to go ahead and move our camera down to the curbside here, show the markings we made of the buried property line clean out that we cannot get past, and then we'll show the other one in the front lawn, and I'll just ask the real estate agent and then the owners of the property if they're willing to let us cut that cast iron piece off, but I don't know if they're going to allow that, so we at least want to give every effort we can here. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and move our equipment down. Okay, so we moved our camera down to ground level, so you can see there our garage right there, right through the doorway right there in the garage. That's our laundry room, and then essentially on that wall, the garage across, that's where the bathroom was where we just came down. So then the sewer main runs across the house. Our front door is right there, kind of looking across the courtyard somewhat. That's where the line heads to, connects there, and then comes across and through this room of the house here and then out. And then here's where the line comes out to when it leaves the foundation of the house, across the front yard to this, again, this buried sewer clean out. The original cast iron, old brass plug. You're not going to be able to unscrew that. That's going to have to be cut off. So I guess it's kind of good that it's not been accessed. That could mean that they've never had any type of stoppages here and needed to open that up, unless the plumbers tried and decided just to go by pulling the toilet around the rooftop. Typically we try not to do that though. So anyway, the line then leaves across here, across the grass, makes a turn right almost at the end of the grass before the sidewalk, and then heads across the sidewalk. And so if you see that little green chalk mark here, kind of move our camera over a little bit more on the sidewalk right there. So there's a line with a little arrow and then a little circle at the end. So the circle at the end is the property line clean out where we had to make that complete vertical downturn. So essentially 2 90s in a row to go from this horizontal pipe, vertical, and then back to the horizontal. So that's why the property line clean out will never be able to be accessed because it's under the city sidewalk. So that's the chalk markings you see right there. And again, the pipe is 2 feet 2 inches deep. And then as we get back up across here to this clean out that is in the line, the original one, the horizontal pipe here on this system is again right about 2 feet 3 inches deep. We've got a grade change going up the grass, so that's why it's actually deeper than the line that's about 10-12 feet away over there on the sidewalk. But anyway, that clean out lid should give access if it had to be cut off to gain access without putting in new clean outs in the horizontal line. Should let you get out to clean the pipe in both directions if it needed it, as well as possibly camera the rest of the line past that chalk marking you see right there that we made where we cannot get our cameras out into the curb and pass into the street, just to verify there's no issues out there. So that concludes the recording for this property.